Guys, we're going to introduce a new house to you that I've spoken about here and there on the channel with one of their fragrances called Divine Temptation. And also, if you've been following me on Instagram, I recently posted about the house. It's REINE de Saba, and we've got 7 fragrances that we're going to rank today. And then also, after the outro, we're going to talk about some of their other fragrances, as they have a catalog of 14 fragrances. So 7 full bottles here and 7 samples after the outro that we're going to do first impressions on. So if you're interested in finding out about REINE de Saba, please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. This is Joe.
Joe, the one and only.
The one and only Joe.
Hello.
He's here, and we're doing another brand introduction. REINE de Saba is a house that I first discovered last April in Italy at a perfume shop called Zor. Right there, when I went into that store, instantly gravitated to the caps of these bottles. Let's hold up a bottle for them to see. And instantly fell in love with several of the fragrances. I walked away with the fragrance called Divine Temptation, which I'll have here to talk about. But recently I visited them in Paris. They have a full-on store. You should definitely go if you're there. It's near the Champs-Élysées, and you can get to discover their fragrances. REINE de Saba means Queen of Sheba. And all of these fragrances, there's 14 total, are Parfum Intense concentration. They're 275 euros each. They come with the most amazing caps. And each of the fragrances is created by a different master perfumer. So you have names like Nathalie Larson, Dominique Ropion, Olivier Cresp, Alberto Morillas, and Filippo, and so on. So many different famous perfumers. So what do you think about the collection?
Love. Love, love, love. It was, as we do on this channel whenever I'm brought on to be a guest speaker, we always do a little ranking. This ranking was extremely difficult for me, and I'm sure it was difficult for Sebastian as well, because there are a lot of close contenders in this, and when we get to the ranking, a lot of it can be interchangeable, but we got to our rankings, and end of the day, really, really great house.
Yeah.
They're doing amazing things.
Really great house. I'm hoping that they would start selling here in the States. They're brand new. They're from 2022. So they just launched last year, at the end of last year, from what I was told. And as I said, I discovered them in April at Zor Parfums in Milan, Italy. I was really completely wowed by these caps. And the caps themselves are really high quality, heavy duty caps. And look, they have detailing in there as well.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. And then these basically come off. They're really nice heavy-duty caps, and they fit on like that. And each one has the name of the perfumer written on it and their creation.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a great job with these fragrances. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the first fragrance created by Dominique Ropion. It's called AKSOUM, this one right here. So Dominique Ropion is one of my favorite perfumers. And actually, when I went to meet with the brand, Dominique Ropion was there. So I got to meet Dominique Ropion through REINE de Saba. And his creation is a citrusy floral fragrance. And very soapy to me. Extremely soapy.
Yeah.
But this features notes of bergamot, petitgrain, jasmine, neroli, orange flower, tuberose, sandalwood, Indonesian patchouli, and musk.
Yeah.
What do you get with this one?
I agree. It is very soapy. It is powdery. And when looking at the note breakdown, you see petitgrain, you see neroli, you see orange flower. You would expect this very voluptuous orangey, like white floral. I do get the white florals, but I really pick up on that soapiness, possibly from the white florals. But
anytime you see neroli orange blossom, you're going to get soapiness to begin with.
Yeah.
But this one goes into a really soapy direction and doesn't go into that kind of very feminine floral direction at all.
No.
It's very, very unisex, if not masculine leaning.
Yeah.
Even though it has the tuberose in there and things like that. And I feel like the patchouli in here kind of makes for a bit more masculine leaning fragrance. But it's a beautiful white floral fragrance. Very soapy, clean, and also very concentrated.
Yeah, no, it is. And it projects and performs incredibly on skin, and longevity, all of that is there with this fragrance, especially for the fragrance's nature. It's a soapy fragrance. Sometimes it can be a little bit effervescent. This one is there. It's not cloying, but it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine you're, washing your hands with this most luxurious soap.
Yeah.
And you've got the beautiful smell of the citruses and, other flowers and musk and patchouli in there. I think it's very luxurious. So that is AKSOUM, the first fragrance we're talking about today from REINE de Saba. So next up is a fragrance created by Mathieu Nardin. It's Divine Temptation, this one right here. So I walked away with this one from Oud Parfums in Milan, Italy, because I fell in love with it. But when I was at Zor, I spent probably an hour there, and I was overwhelmed with the fact that these were so good, and I hadn't smelled some of the others. This one, after like a few smells, I said this one's great. But there are other great fragrances in the collection, and we'll tell you about them. But Divine Temptation is amber, figs, cinnamon, rum, cloves, Guaiac wood, balsam of Peru or Peru balsam, patchouli, and vanilla. So it's a boozy, ambery, spicy fragrance. That's super delicious, right?
Oh, it's real delicious, yeah. This one reminds me... It reminds me somewhat of holidays. It reminds me of that fall, winter time with those spices for sure. And then that rum adding in there as well, giving it kind of that little sparkly booziness coming out. The spices are beautiful in this. The fig adds just that right contrast, in my opinion. Because,
nice fruitiness in there.
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily see a note breakdown like this and expect a fig to come in, but it's incorporated masterfully. I think it's a very, very lovely gourmand.
I agree with the holiday idea. Definitely has a holiday-ish vibe. I think it's the cinnamon and the rum and the cloves. Those notes together, especially the cinnamon and cloves, always associate with holiday smells. And here you've got a very warm, spicy, holiday-like vibe with the boozy fragrance. The other thing I want to say is Mathieu Nardin has done some boozy fragrances for Kilian. He did Vert something, but he also recently did Smokin' Hot for Kilian. So he knows how to do boozy. This is a really delicious boozy fragrance from the house of REINE de Saba, Divine Temptation. Good one, right?
Delicious. Indeed.
All right, next up we're going to a fragrance created by Michel Almairac. See, each fragrance is created by a different master perfumer who is well known. I mean, Mathieu Nardin is not as well known, but Michel Almairac, he created Fahrenheit. He's done some great fragrances, and I think this is really great. As you can see, we are very big fans of this one. So this is Espoir Saba, featuring notes of rose, figs, patchouli, ginger, elemi, cedar, papyrus, musk, and vanilla. So what do you get with this one?
This one is... I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but this is really up there in my ranking. I love this fragrance.
This is really delicious. It's so different, too.
It is so different. You get that rose, but it's a masculine rose. It could be worn by a woman, in my opinion. However, this is definitely a masculine rose. And that fig, again, the fig comes through and it helps support a little bit of the greenness from that rose. It's not a green scent. However, there are some slight contrasting green notes in there. That patchouli brings it down, that slight zinginess from the ginger. And the papyrus also comes through as well for me. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's a great balancing act of fruity floral notes and also earthy woody notes. So you've got the patchouli and the papyrus, and then also to balance things out, you've thrown in some musk and vanilla. It's just a really great ambery, spicy, fruity floral fragrance. I can't get enough of the smell of this one. So it's really tough to rank the fragrances you'll see at the end. Unfortunately, there's such great fragrances in this house, all done really wonderfully by each perfumer. Can't decide, but this is really, really top notch.
So good.
So good.
I would wear this on a daily basis.
You would?
I so would, yeah.
Are you familiar with Michel Almairac?
I know if I smelled some of their creations, I would definitely know the name. However, just by the name, I'm not too sure. What you said, Fahrenheit?
He did Fahrenheit, but he's also recently done all the Brioni fragrances, and he's done fragrances for Parlez-moi de Parfum.
The new Brioni Intense, the one with the tomato leaves, that's a very nice fragrance. So if he did that one,
he did that one.
And then I'm a fan of his creations because I love Fahrenheit as well.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
All right, up next we have a fragrance created by Maurice Roussel, another master perfumer. It is Legende de Saba, this one right here. What do you think about this one?
I am also a lover of this fragrance as well. This one, for me, I get a fruitiness from it, but at the same time, I know that there aren't fruits necessarily credited, but there's a sweetness in there that I'm picking up on. And I'm not exactly sure where the sweetness is. It must be from the amber. However, I think it's a masterful fragrance. I think it's beautiful. That rose and geranium adds just the right floral touch, and then that myrrh kind of adds that resinous smokiness, along with the cumin, which Cumin obviously adds a little bit of a funk to some fragrances. I don't get funk from this one.
No, but it does appear. But let me read you the notes. It's rose, geranium, patchouli, myrrh, cumin, fir balsam, amber, cashmeran, leather, cloves. To me, this is kind of like the idea of Guerlain's Bois Mysterio, because it has similar notes like cumin, it's got leather, it's got myrrh, it's got rose, but it's going in a different direction. There is definitely sweetness here. I feel like the rose and the amber kind of contribute to some sweetness, probably also from the spice of the cloves. It's a very unusually beautiful fragrance. It doesn't seem like it's going to work very well together, but it smells fantastic. Definitely has aromatic, spicy touches that I really, really love. It's not one of my all-time favorites from the brand, especially from the 7 we have here, but it's a really job well done.
Yeah, it really is. And I think a little bit of that, there's a slight fresh tinge to it, which might be contributed by that cashmeran. But yeah, it's very, very beautiful.
And once, again, going back to the rose, if you like the idea of a masculine rose, this is definitely a masculine rose. The rose is there, but it's not in your face. It's kind of almost in the background, but still fully there. You'll notice it, but it's not like a jammy, sweet kind of rose.
No.
All right, next we have a fragrance created by Alex Lee. It's Merveilleuse Saba, or Marvelous Saba. So it's black tea, bergamot, vetiver, geranium, clary sage, juniper berry, cardamom, rose, and guaiac wood. For anyone that loves aromatic notes with cozy black tea notes, this is definitely going to be a favorite of yours. I also get a bit of a citrusy edge about this one, lightly under there, but it's a nice balancing act with the black tea and the bergamot and the grassy vetiver that is in here, along with lots of aromatics and woods. Simple. It's a simplistic wear.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely compared to the other fragrances in this house, I would definitely say it's more, I wouldn't say linear, but it's more on that simplistic styling where everyone is going to like it.
Very herbal touches, and also the grassy idea comes to mind. But compared to the others, it does seem a bit more simplistic.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones are really, really in-your-face complex. This one, I think if you're challenged by complex fragrances, might start with something like this from this house, then graduate to the others that are more complex and less easy to wear.
I agree with that. And this one also offers, I'm picking up on, at least when I wore it the first time, I didn't get it necessarily, but as I kept on wearing it, the cardamom added just this tiny bit of sweetness, like barely there, but it's just, if you really look into it, you could kind of pick up a little bit of a cooling spicy sweetness from that cardamom, which is quite nice.
I can see this is very fresh compared to some of the other ones that are much warmer notes. Cardamom is definitely very fresh, spicy. Juniper has that kind of cold ice feeling.
Right.
But there's definitely a cozy factor about this one, contributed by the black tea. So if you like cozy aromatic fragrances, go with this.
I think it's great.
All right, next up we're going to a fragrance created by Anne Flippo, and this woman knows how to do things with white flowers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is such an amazing fragrance. And the more I try it, the more I really love it. It's, to me, kind of like a take on something like Love Don't Be Shy, but more in the direction of something Middle Eastern where you have orange blossom and vanillic ice cream, because there's definitely vanillic touches here, and also kind of like a white floral contrasted. There's no mention of orange blossom, but I think we're getting that something like that with the jasmine. But it's notes of cashmeran, ambrette, mandarin orange, jasmine, violet leaves, vanilla, rose, orris root, cedar, musk. What do you think about this?
I have mentioned on this channel before that I don't usually reach for white florals, but I would reach for this. This is a beautiful, beautiful take on white florals. And
sweet, too.
It is sweet. You must have a bit of a sweet tooth for it to actually appreciate it fully. However, that buttery orris root is just coming through, and then it's it's almost candied a little bit from that violet leaf. And the cashmeran, as I mentioned before, offers a bit of that fresher muskiness with a little bit of a woodsy vibe. It's beautiful. The vanilla
this is like almost to the point of orgasmic beautiful.
Yeah. I would eat this.
Yeah, I want to eat it.
Don't, but I
want to eat it. It's that sweet, like a dessert candy, some beautiful, something
Yeah.
too delicious. So that's REINE MAKEDA. I think I didn't mention the name. REINE MAKEDA, created by Anne Flippo.
I forgot to mention the name. We were too excited.
Yeah. We're too excited for that one. So check that one up if you end up going to the store or figuring out a way to get a bottle. I think you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Especially if you like fragrances like Love, Don't Be Shy. And as I said, they don't mention Orange Blossom or Neroli. I'm getting a Neroli Orange Blossom vibe in this.
Yeah, I can pick up on that a little bit. I definitely pick up on more of that vanilla with that, just that jasmine and, like I said, the orris. Just really...
Well, yeah, there's definitely a powdery effect happening, but there's a buttery consistency under there as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So next up, we're going to a fragrance created by Carlos Benaim. This is the last fragrance in the bottle that we're going to talk about today. This is SAGESSE de Salomon. This is it right here, and it features notes of amber, leather, orris, cashmeran, lavender, cistus, mandarin, pink pepper, juniper berries. What do you get with this one?
With this one, it's a leather. However, at initial spray, I was in love with the opening. I was expecting it to do something a little bit different. However, for me, it was a bit linear in my opinion. I felt as though that it didn't necessarily alter too much on my skin, which I do appreciate with a lot of fragrances. I like when it takes you on a journey and you're kind of like, ooh, this is new. This one didn't necessarily do that. It is a great leather. Don't get me wrong, I've ranked it fairly high. But because of the fact it is a bit linear, I ranked it a little lower than I would have.
No, I think it's a good leather. It's also got enough sweetness and powdery touches to balance out anything kind of animalic coming through.
Mm-hmm.
You also have kind of a little bit of a sweet mandarin in there, some spiciness, and some metallic kind of touches with the juniper berry. But I think next to some of the other fragrances, it just kind of doesn't compare to them. But I think it's nicely done.
I think it is as well. And yeah, no, I'm smelling it again, and it's a very, very nice leather. If you're in the market for a leather fragrance, this will definitely... It'll satisfy that itch you may have for leather.
Leather itch.
The leather itch, indeed.
It's a nice name for a fragrance.
That could be a great name for a fragrance.
I better write it down.
We're trademarking that.
All right, so as far as the ranking goes, I'm going with MERVEILLEUSE Saba at number 7. You know, we mentioned it in the actual review. It was pretty nice, very aromatic, kind of herbal, grassy with tea. But next to all the other fragrances, I feel like it's a little, I don't want to say the word boring, but not as exciting.
It's safe.
Yeah, it's a safer fragrance. What do you think?
I have it at my number 7 as well. And
we agree?
We agree, indeed. Lovely. This fragrance, as Sebastian stated, and as we were talking about earlier, it is definitely going to be something that people enjoy. The masses are going to love it. By no means is it a designer take, but according to this house and up against the competition in other fragrances in this house, it definitely does fall a little short of that creative pinnacle that some of the other fragrances definitely reach.
And it could be the brand that gave them this type of a brief, and that's kind of what they were going for. Yeah. So it makes sense to the brand that they went ahead and produced it. So
if you're new to the house and you'd like to get introduced into a bit more of a niche realm, this could definitely be a great stepping stone for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 6 is SAGESSE de Salomon. I just mentioned it a little while ago. It's a nice leather, but it doesn't live up to some of the other more exciting smells. Leather with amber with enough sweetness and spices and some metallic touches from the juniper. I think it's pleasant. A little more exciting than the MERVEILLEUSE Saba, but I find some of the other fragrances a little more exciting.
That's fair.
What do you think? What's your number 6?
Well, for my number 6, I have AKSOUM, the Dominique Ropion creation. I love all things Dominique Ropion. However, for me, this creation fell a little short. I get luxury hotel. That's what I smell.
Yeah. Hotel.
Yeah, definitely.
Products.
Definitely those little travel products that you get at a very high-end hotel that you want to have a full bottle of, so you kind of run to the cart and you like take a couple extras to bring home.
Is that what you do?
No. However, it's lovely. Don't get me wrong. It's a great masculine soapy fragrance. As far as Dominique Ropion is and his other creations, and as far as this house goes, it is going to fall a little bit short. Don't let that fool you, though. It is still a lovely, lovely fragrance.
Yeah. And that's my number 5, AKSOUM. Yeah, it's a masculine take on citrusy floral fragrances, and but definitely very soapy and luxurious soap. And I like his idea of a hotel product, and I sometimes collect them. But lately, some hotels are doing like the big jar, and you have to use the big jar. There's no little bottles to take.
You're right.
So now we don't get those things, but still, I think it's very luxurious, very expensive smelling soap. Lots of citruses. Perfect. I think it's going to be perfect in the summertime.
Yeah.
Because it's got that clean vibe going for it. Dirty, sweaty summer weather.
Oh, yeah.
Spritz that stuff, and you're going to feel clean subconsciously.
Freshen you up. Yeah.
So what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Sagesse de Salomon.
We're kind of close.
Yeah, we're getting there. This one, as I stated, it's a bit linear for me. It doesn't necessarily change all that much. However, again, if you're going for that leather itch and you gotta crave that, then if you have to, what's the word? If you have to resolve that itch, I'll just say that. Satisfied, that's the word. It's a great option for a good leather. It is a good leather. I mean, that's all I really have to say about it. The juniper berries definitely do come out. The mandarin adds a little bit of that sweetness that's needed, like Sebastian said, to kind of tone down those animalic qualities of leather. It's great. It's a good number 5. Again, ranking this house is very difficult.
So my number 4 is Legende de Saba, the Maurice Roussel creation. And as I was saying earlier, it's kind of similar idea to Guerlain's Bois de
Stereo?
Bois de Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fragrance, which I'm a fan of. And I do like this one. There's rose in this one as well, but it's lots of spices. There's the cumin spice, there's the myrrh note in here, and various other things going on. It does get ambery and resinous when it's drying down. And it's definitely right in the middle. I like this one more than the other fragrances because it does have substance. Mm-hmm. But what's coming after this, I don't want to use the word masterpieces, but man, they're really good.
They're up there for sure. This is my number 4 as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're kind of on par with this one.
Okay.
We have come to learn through our videos together that me and Sebastian have similar tastes in perfumery.
We do have similar tastes, I think.
We like a lot of the same stuff, but
and we hate cologne.
We do not like cologne. We are very sensitive to cologne. Keep the cologne away, please. However, Legende de Saba, this is again, I get that sweetness from the amber in it. It's a beautiful Middle Eastern, smoky, resinous, not overly smoky, but it's resinous and it's beautiful. I really enjoy this fragrance. Maurice Roussel did not fail to disappoint.
Yeah, unlike Uncut Gem, I really love this one, which came out in the same year. This is 2022, and his Uncut Gem from Frederick Malle came out last year too, but I much prefer this over the other.
I think this is lovely. Yeah.
All right, so the next 3, the top 3, are the most challenging, and I don't know if I did the right thing by putting what here, but going with number 3, it's Espoir Saba. It's quite good, but it was a challenge for me to put this here, or number 2, or number 1. The top 3 are the best out of here, and again, as Joe was saying, this was really tough, and even more tough in the top 3. But this is so unique, fruity, figgy, kind of rose, ambery, kind of fresh at the same time as it's warm. Just like I want to spritz it all over me and just bathe in it.
No, seriously. This one I have ranked higher, but again,
higher, huh?
Oh yeah, this one really spoke to me, but again, this was a very difficult list.
What did it say?
Let alone top 3. What did it say? I just got that. That was funny. I will not. I don't kiss and tell. Anyways, my number 4 is REINE.
Wait, number 3.
Or sorry, pardon me. My number 3 is REINE MAKEDA. The white floral.
Oh my God.
And
how dare you?
I will say again, I've mentioned that I don't usually reach for the white florals, but this one made it into my top 3. It is that good. It is such a delicious gourmand white floral. It is all there. And I would so wear this on a daily basis. Maybe for a more upscale event, possibly at that, but I would wear this anywhere.
I mean, you want to eat that stuff.
It's so good.
It just smells delicious.
It is so good.
But my number 2 is Divine Temptation, the boozy one created by Mathieu Nardin. Warm spices, holidays. He does boozy fragrances. He did L'Heure Verte by Kilian.
There we go.
And then he also did Smoking Hot. So he knows boozy. With Lord Vert, it was absinthe. With Smoking Hot, I believe it's rum. And with this one, I think it's rum as well.
Yes, it is rum.
Yeah, but it's holiday spices to the max. It's super delicious. I think if I'm going to do a holiday video, this is definitely going to go on it. Because to me, it's the holiday spirit come to life.
It really is.
There's a little bit reminder of something like Wajan or even Angel's Share. But it's different enough.
It does go down its own path. It hints at those fragrances for sure.
Is that your number 2?
This one, yeah, this is my
Divine-
number 2. Yeah,
Divine Temptation?
yeah. So me and Sebastian are on the same page again, but such a beautiful, spicy, boozy fragrance. You really can. I mean, when you smell this, you really just kind of want to go to a family gathering. You want to go to a holiday ball, a holiday gala, whatever it may be. It transports you. And if I were wearing this, for example, let's say it's super, super hot in the summertime and I'm about to go to bed and I want to just kind of teleport to those colder months, I would spray this on my hand.
It's warm and cozy.
And I'd be taken there.
It's warm and cozy.
For sure. I wouldn't wear it in the heat.
No?
Don't get me wrong. I don't think I would wear it in the heat.
Okay.
But fall, winter, my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely.
And my number 1 is Reine Makeda, the Anne Flippo creation. Oh my God, that has become a favorite of mine. I mean, remember, I walked out of Oud Parfums with Divine Temptation. Now Reine Makeda has become my favorite. It's like candy. It's like vanilla with orange blossom and white flowers, and then you're eating it. That's basically what it is. It's like candied citrus flowers and white flowers with a kind of very creamy, powdery texture, and you're just digging in, like really delicious.
It's quite delicious.
It's so good.
It's at number 3 for me. It could be at number 1 on any other day. It's such a great fragrance. My number 1 though, I had to go with Espoir Saba. It's
Michel Almairac creation.
It's gorgeous. It's really, really amazing. Michel Almairac just hit the nail on the head with this one, and just it's an everyday wear for me. I think I could bathe in this stuff. I think you said this about the same fragrance, but I could totally just.
No, I can bathe with the top 3.
Yeah.
One day one, the next day the other.
Precisely, but yeah, Espoir Saba. It's got to be my number 1. Get your nose on it when you get a chance. If you're in Europe, definitely go smell this. Go to their boutique. Lovely.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Remember to stick around for the bonus section. This is going to be a longer than normal video. We do tend to do long videos. So the bonus section will be sampling the remainder of the collection of fragrances from samples. But let us know your thoughts on these 7 fragrances from REINE de Saba. What do you think? And if you're in Paris or you've visited Paris, have you stopped into their store? It's near the Champs-Élysées, and I think definitely go check it out and smell the fragrances and find out which ones you like. But either way, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. All right, as promised, we have first impressions of 7 more REINE de Saba fragrances. We're going to try and do this as quickly as possible. The first one is Ombre Saba, created by Sophie Labbé, featuring notes of pink pepper, olibanum resinoid, jasmine sambac, black pepper, gray amber, dreamwood, vanilla Madagascar. So let us spray some on. So the samples are in little boxes like this. And we don't have full bottles of these.
We still have the juice, though.
We do have the juice?
That's what matters.
We have the juice.
Indeed. Do you get pepper with that?
Very.
I get very peppery.
It's peppery.
Yeah.
But it's nice peppery.
Yeah.
It's ambery, and I can also smell the gray amber, the ambergris. That's nice.
It is quite nice.
I do like her creations. She did a fragrance for Memo Paris with sesame. It's in their private collection, the Wings collection, and I really enjoy that one. But she does really good work. I like this one.
I do too. I think the pepper, both the peppers, the pink and the black, and then the ambergris, or the gray amber as a note, I think it almost goes in a leathery direction. I know it's not a leather fragrance, but it has those like characteristics and qualities almost of a leather. But I think it's lovely. Yeah.
And next up, we've got a fragrance created by Nathalie Lorson. It is Balki REINE de Saba. Now, as I was saying, Nathalie Lorson is another very well-known perfumer. She does a lot of great work. She's done fragrances for many different brands, and she's done one here for REINE de Saba. So this is REINE de Saba in sample like this. It has notes of bergamot, mandarin, magnolia, black pepper, osmanthus, heliotrope, patchouli, sandalwood, vanilla, musk. I'm not sure I like this one as much, but I think this one might have to be worn.
Yeah.
From what I'm smelling, I think it needs to be put on skin.
I do enjoy this one because I get the pepper. I get a pepperiness, but I also get the heliotrope, and I get that bergamot with the mandarin and that citrusiness as well. There's a slight peachiness, maybe a little stone fruitiness coming from the osmanthus, but not over the top. I think it's good.
Let me smell it again.
Smell it again.
Do you get the pencil shavings?
Slightly. There's a dryness to it.
I think it's the black pepper acting a bit like incense woods.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a bit dry. So when you see osmanthus, don't necessarily think juicy stone fruit. Think of a drier stone fruit.
Yeah.
If you will.
I'm getting major pepperiness.
Yeah.
Black pepper is really prominent in this one and the previous one.
Mm-hmm. You think the black pepper was blended, or the peppers were blended better in the previous one or this one?
I like the previous one more than this one.
I'd agree
and I'm
with
a big fan of Nathalie Lorson, so go figure. I don't like everything she's created. Next up, we have a fragrance called Anan Saba, created by Alberto Morillas. You know him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Known for Aqua de Joe.
Very well known
Aqua de Joe.
Aqua de Joe. No, I used to wear Aqua de Joe as a little kid, so I am. He was one of the.
Hey, you don't like cologne? You're wearing Aqua de Joe?
I was a little kid. My nose has developed in a different direction now.
Oh, I see.
But he was definitely an introduction to fragrance for me because of his creations. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So this one has notes of black pepper, orange, cinnamon, rose damascena, cypriol, ambergris, olibanum, myrrh, patchouli, musk. This is definitely no cologne.
No cologne, definitely
It's very
not.
spicy and incensey.
Yeah, I get smokiness with this one. And the spices as well. I know that it says black pepper. We mentioned black pepper again. This one isn't so black peppery in my opinion.
I think it's very black peppery.
Not as much as the
But
previous two,
the
though.
black pepper kind of hides itself with the incense.
Yeah, and the cinnamon. Maybe a little bit as well.
I mean, the olibanum is what I'm referring to, which is the incense note, or the frankincense note.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I get those two kind of mixed up. They have similarities to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this is my favorite, though.
Not sure either. I think this one might have to be a wear on skin as well.
Yeah.
Definitely have to see how that one performs and changes a little bit more.
Definitely. But thankfully, there's no cologne in it.
Indeed.
Next one is with Honorine Blanc, and it is Extraordinaire Saba. Honorine Blanc has done a lot of fragrances recently. She has done fragrances for Born to Stand Out, Goldfield and Banks, many other brands. When I smell this, right off the bat, I'm getting leather.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a combination of incense and resins and in leather together. But I kind of like this.
I do too. I smelled it in the air a little bit.
It's smoky leather with musk and amber.
And that ambrox, it kind of comes through a little bit. It adds a little bit of a, not necessarily overly molecular, but it does add a bit of that
dry.
Yeah, that dry,
amber,
ambery
woods.
presence. Yeah, exactly. I like this one.
I like that one too.
I think this one's quite nice.
The first one, the one with Sophie Labbe, and then now Honorine Blanc, both I enjoy.
It's well balanced as well. And this, again, this is just off the initial blast. We really don't know how these play out over
skin.
time. But, I mean, all fragrances seem to change on skin. So take this as you will. But that one has a very, very pleasant opening.
I enjoy that one, and even though I'm not really excited about incense fragrances, that one was good. But the next one is created by Domatil Michelin Berthier. It's called Oasis Saba. Ooh, this is bright.
Ooh.
And it has a very Middle Eastern edge to it. It's
I
got
caught a waft in the air. Apologies.
It's got mandarin, cardamom, dates, ambrette, orange flowers, myrrh, patchouli, labdanum, vanilla, cashmeran.
This one's nice. I do pick up on the dates.
It's definitely the dates is adding a bit of a Middle Eastern edge to the fragrance, including the myrrh as well.
It's a different take on a
Gourmand.
On a gourmand. It's like a fresher gourmand. It's quite nice. It's
You don't get warmth?
I get slight warmth, but I get freshness from that mandarin and the cardamom and the orange flowers as well. They give it a little bit of a brightness. Like you said.
I like this one.
Yeah,
Oasis
this
Saba is good.
Quite lovely, yeah.
Next up, we have a fragrance created by Bruno Jovanovic. He's known for Monsieur from Frederick Mall, and he's been doing the Tamine colognes, Britolone fragrances. If you haven't caught those fragrances from Tamine. And now we've got Oriental, it's called Oud Oriental Saba. Are you a fan of oud?
I love oud. I think oud is a fantastic note in perfumery. It's just used so often. You know, we've talked about the oud rose combo and all that.
This is definitely not oud rose. It's black pepper. Pepper is king here in these series. Black currant, saffron, cinnamon, cedarwood, sandalwood, dreamwood, oud, cistus, labdanum. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I'm bored of oud. I think that's why.
There's a spiciness.
Yeah, it's spicy. It's woody. It's dreamy. No, I'm just kidding.
Dreamy indeed. This one smells like other ouds out there without smelling too much like other ouds out there. If you can you understand that?
That makes sense.
It makes no sense at all. It made more sense in my mind before I said it, but
no, I mean, it's oud.
Yeah, it's an oud fragrance, and
I've had enough of oud, I think.
It's Oud Saffron. Like,
it's very Middle Eastern for sure.
We all know Oud Saffron. We know how that works together, and they're doing it again.
And we've got one more oud created by Olivier Cresp.
There you are.
It's called Oud Presso. Precious oud.
I keep on smelling these, but we don't even have these sprayed, so I'm just like smelling a blank card.
Is it like a automatic thing that you do?
Yeah, no, it's very habitual for me now. Whenever I'm in the studio, I'll just go and grab the card.
This oud is good.
Is it?
Good oud.
I'm smelling the air.
This is a bit molecular. I feel like I'm getting a bit of Baccarat-like vibe in there.
This is different.
Guaiac wood, Copahu balm, Cypriol, moss, oud, amber, praline. I like this one.
This one's a lot different in my opinion.
I like this one.
Now this is interesting. This is taking oud in a not completely different direction, but it is going in a different direction that does not feel overdone. I enjoy this one. That praline is adding a little bit of sweetness along with that amber.
I like this one.
This is nice.
So,
yeah.
Sophie Labbe, Olivier Cresp, and what else? We've got Honorine Blanc and Domitil Michelin Berthier. Those are my favorites from the sample.
Yeah.
But I got to wear them to see how things go.
Yeah. I like the
Ombre Saba is good.
I like the Ombre Saba.
I
like that spicy pepper, and that one was like a pepper bomb at the start. So that one quite interesting, and the Oud Parfum, that one is also very different. That one is something that I haven't really smelled before. Okay. So I'm intrigued by that one.
Cool.
For sure.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you later.
See you guys.
Bye.